Hey everybody, what's going on? Hellmite here, bringing you another video from Grab the Lantern today. Today I wanted to talk about the current Overheal meta in the bottom lane, its implications, and generally speaking, is it a good thing for the game, or is it something degenerate that should be removed or otherwise nerfed? So first off, if you don't know what the Overheal bot lane strategy is, I'll run it down real quick. Essentially, the strategy is speccing into your masteries, taking Fleet Footwork, Overheal, Legend Bloodline, and essentially whatever else you want, and then starting with Relic Shield as an AD carry in the bottom lane. The idea being that because of Overheal's excess healing, you can essentially have upwards of a 600 HP shield once you've completed the Relic Shield quest, and have a fully stacked Overheal shield. This obviously makes AD carries very difficult to burst down, and makes them significantly safer and harder to kill in the late game. It also means that AD carries can, generally speaking, forego buying a lifesteal item, as they have plenty of sustain from Fleet Footwork. It's the same sort of thing that the Warlord's Bloodlust meta had back during last year's Worlds, where pretty much every AD carry took that just because of the lane sustain it provided. Now, generally speaking, I'm a fan of the strategy. I think that it's an interesting way of using the rune system. I've been looking at Overheal ever since it was revealed and thinking, okay, I can't see how this is going to be good, but I could definitely see it possibly being good if you could find a way to break it. So it's nice for me to finally see, like, hey, people finally came up with the strategy that this is supposed to be used for. That's really cool, and that's 100% not something that I think is dumb or bad in any way. Now, the big issue for me with the Overheal strategy is that it adds a significant amount of lane sustain to AD carries and to the bottom lane in general. And now, generally speaking, when you have those kinds of scenarios where lane sustain is the strongest possible meta, that Riot tend to not be a fan of that strategy, because it almost completely negates early aggression as a viable strategy. Because even if you're able to poke down the guy a little bit, he's just gonna wait till the wave hits his tower and then lifesteal it all back up. And there's really nothing you can do about that, because you can't poke that effectively in her tower, and he's just going to get a bunch of sustain. And especially with the Relic Shield start, AD carries are starting the game with significant amounts of armor, which makes them even harder to poke down with another AD carry such as Caitlyn, or someone who just wants to be doing a lot of damage from a range. So it's an interesting predicament to me, because I like the strategy and I think it works, but Riot tend to not be a fan of these scenarios where lane sustain is too high, and I can't fault them too much. The game is a very delicate balancing act between having early aggression being the be-all end-all and having farming being so good that there's no reason to ever try and do early aggression. It's difficult to hit the sweet spot, and possibly the Fleet Footwork Overheal combo might be too much sustain, and it might swing the pendulum back the other way, where scaling AD carries are all you want to play because of the innate safety that you have. However, like I said before, it's a really cool strategy. I like that people took the rune system and found a way to kind of make it work, I would say. So I don't want to see it completely disappear. Now, obviously, Riot haven't said anything about it. Meddler didn't even address it in his most recent quick gameplay thoughts thread, so I'm assuming Riot know that it's on their radar, but they have yet to actually tell us anything about that, how they feel about it, or if they plan on nerfing it. For the moment, I think it's fine. It may just be a passing craze where everyone's playing it, they think it's really good, and then someone finds a strategy that beats it, and it just kind of drops off the map. That could be a possibility. So I'm going to be making this podcast for no reason. Maybe this is totally not going to be a thing, especially not at top tiers of play. But if it does start showing up in professional play, I could see Riot taking a look at it. And if that's the case, I would love to see some way for Riot to change the support items once again, to try and make them more of a specific support thing, as opposed to being the sort of generalist items they are right now. We already have people in the top lane taking Spell Thief's Edge if they want additional gold. Even mid laners taking Spell Thief's Edge because they want to be able to get additional gold. AD carries taking Relic Shield is not something new. Obviously, that happened this year at Worlds with the Ardent Censer Rush meta, but now that it's back again, maybe take a pass on those items and see if there's a way to bind them more heavily towards the support role, as opposed to making them very general and very easy for AD carries and other roles to take. Because if you're able to fix that, then that cuts off a reasonable amount of shielding that AD carries would otherwise get. I think I'm fine with the Overheal strategy, because Bloodline takes time to stack up. You don't get the full lifesteal value immediately. And Overheal in general also takes time to stack up and wears off if you're not in combat. It's essentially a mini free Bloodthirster without any of the bonus AD. So I'm totally fine with it, and I don't think that's the degenerate part of the strategy. It's just the innate lane sustain that becomes the problem, especially when combined with the Relic Shield. So I would love to see some kind of change directed at this if it turns out it's degenerate. In the meantime, though, it would be interesting to look at possible strategies to beating this kind of plan if an enemy AD carry goes into it and seeing what we can't come up with. Go ahead and let me know what your guys' thoughts are on this subject. If you've played with the Overheal Fleet Footwork strategy, what you think, if it's particularly good or if it's particularly bad. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on the subject. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and leave a like. And if you really enjoyed the video, consider subscribing. I upload a video every Monday, Friday, and on patch days as well. And if you're looking for more Grab the Lantern content, you can check out my blog, grabthelantern.tumblr.com. There will be a link down in the description below. I upload an article just about each and every single day for your enjoyment. Once again, thank you guys so very much for watching. I do appreciate it, and I will talk to you all later.